Hi there, Sam Sorbo here. If you've always wanted to go to Israel and it's one of those things on your bucket list and you think, that's just never going to happen, change your way of thinking. If you will it, you can do it. And our trip, the Sorbo Israel trip, and it's, by the way, sorboisraeltrip.com online. We call it Follow the Light in the Footsteps of Jesus. We're walking in the footsteps of Jesus in Israel, my husband and I. Our kids are joining us again for the second time. We've got other people who joined us on the first trip joining us for the second time. And you can be one of the people who will be new to the group and will be embraced by the group. We just have such a phenomenal time. So go to sorboisraeltrip.com and consider it. It's May 17th through the 28th of 2023. We've got a great itinerary. You can see everything online, but set your sights on that. Make a plan. Get signed up soon because tickets are running out. We're running out of space, and we'd love to include you. So go online, sorboisraeltrip.com, and check it out and join us. You will not regret it. Israel is an amazing place, and it is truly one of those bucket list things. So I really encourage you to take it seriously and come with us. And I'm Sam Sorbo, back on the Sam Sorbo Show with my guest, Joe Koeppel, who has been describing his sacrifice, standing for truth. So what you refused to sacrifice was the truth, because the truth was more important to you, and tied to the truth was your own personal integrity. And you maybe didn't quite realize it, but what you decided was, my integrity and what I believe, what I hold fast to, is too important to let these losers get away with what they're trying to get away with, right?
Yeah. Well, I thought about this too. I said, when I have kids, I want to be able to tell them the story that their dad was like a bad mamma jamma. Dude was a sick, tough guy. I want to be able to say that, not like, hey, your dad worked in accounting for 30 years. God bless all the accountants, but like I don't want to just be known as the guy that worked in accounting for 30 years and brought home the bread and took the kids to the park. Like, no, like I want to be known as messing stuff up, shifting culture. That's another thing. I don't want to be standard, and I'm not willing to sacrifice truth ever. And that's why I felt the way I did about the mask, even though I went through the process to get a mask exemption because of a medical issue I have with my nose. Like I can't breathe out of it properly. The doctor agreed. He said, yeah, you can't breathe right. You shouldn't wear a mask. The school board thought they were God because of Fauci and all these other weirdos. And I just said, this stuff doesn't even work anyways. I wasn't down with the gender stuff. I wasn't down with the mask stuff. The racism, it was fake. We had black cops. I'm like, you think the black cop is out here to assault and murder the black students? Like, you guys are out of your mind. So yeah, I was not willing. I still am not. I'm not willing to sacrifice truth.
Did you ever feel like the masks were a different religion than your religion?
Yeah, it's a cult. It's a cult religion, even to this day. And it's fear. There's people that really, if you really talk with them, they really are scared that they will die. If they don't wear the mask, they will die. There's people like that. And then there's some that are just, they follow the rules, and they just want to follow the rules, and they don't want to do anything but follow the rules. Those are the people that I'm scared of, because if we ever become a communist nation, those are the ones that are knocking on your door with the billy sticks to beat you up.
That's powerful, what you just said. And I believe it's true. It's the rules followers. And by the way, they tried that in the Nuremberg trials, just saying, I was only following orders. And back in that day, people decided, hey, just following orders was not enough of an excuse, that you still have a modicum in your heart of hearts of knowing right from wrong, of knowing good from evil, and you shouldn't just be exonerated to practice evil because you fear repercussions.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see where we end up. And that, I think that's, I mean, that's really chilling what you just said. The hope is that we can get enough children. Well, my hope is that we can get enough children out of the schools so that they won't be brainwashed into performing like little monkeys for the statists.
Yeah, well, that's the whole education doesn't have much value right now anyways. You can't get a job. I have a bachelor's degree from a 4-year university, and then I have a master's degree in business administration. I could not get a job. I mean, I've applied everywhere in Louisiana, no job. So I had to go work with my hands. And you know what? It's been okay. I could have been working with my hands the moment I graduated high school. Since I was 16, I could have been working with my hands. I'd be a multimillionaire if I started working with my hands when I was 15 or 16 years old. People have been conditioned to believe that school and education equals riches and success. It's a flat out lie from hell. It's not what it equals. And I think the necessity of college and the necessity of schooling is going to change over the next 20 years. You got kids making money on TikTok. I just met a guy who used to have a lawn care company, starts dancing on TikTok. I said, "Hey, what's up, Brian? Brother's making like $1,000 a day on TikTok posting dancing videos." So he didn't learn that in school.
By the way, you met my son, right?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, this is not a bona fide industry. And he's like, well, it kind of is, Mom.
Yeah, no, it really is. And so that's the future. And none of it requires going to school for 12 years and then another 4 and another 4 or 8. I mean,
no, in fact, it almost requires not going to school. It almost requires not going to school because school puts a box around you and limits your thinking. And not going to school, you've got all of these giftings that you get to explore when you're not confined to the school system.
Yeah, it kills creativity. School has killed creativity. What makes America the most unique place on earth, even though we're falling behind in academics and some other things, we still have the best inventions. All the greatest things on earth have come from within the United States. I mean, electricity, refrigeration, what else? The street sweeper. A black guy invented the street sweeper on a
air
vehicle.
Conditioning.
Air conditioning. I don't know if the toilet was invented in the United States, but if it was, that'd be great. So many. Flight.
Right.
Aviation. The automobile. Yeah, everything. The Industrial Revolution, the skyscrapers, all the good stuff comes from the United States because we're the most creative, but the school system is destroying creativity and imagination. And the kids are being brainwashed to not.
Also because we have the freedom to pursue, and we did have a very strong patent system. And so you could get the benefits of your brain power if you harnessed your brain power and went through the patent system. Like you could reap the benefits of that. That's slowly perhaps being perverted. The school system certainly has been perverted. I mean, it is perverted now. I used to say it's been perverted. Now it's like a total perversion. Like it's so obvious. Those are perverts. What do you want?
I mean, just imagine this. I mean, you're a mom and you have kids. You walk into the school and there's rainbows, unicorns, safe space stickers, gay pride, litter boxes, and you tampon dispensers in the boys' bathroom. That happened in Chicago. I spoke out on that. I mean, it's like you go in there and you go, what the hell is going on? This is a school and you're supposed to be the smart people, the teachers.
That's right.
What is happening? You sick, purple-haired, twisted lib. Like, what is going on? That's what schools are today.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
It's true. Sadly, it's true. But it's funny because it takes people speaking out like you've done and continue to do. It takes that drilling that message home because you got to fight all the noise that's been installed by the schools into our brains, right? Yeah. Because we have so much noise in our brains that say, well, education's important. School is the way to get an education, and your kid has to go to college. You know, when I tell parents, oh, you don't have to graduate high school to go to college, they're like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I didn't graduate high school. I went to Duke University. What?
Mhm.
Like they because they teach you in school to follow rules,
Yeah.
and then you're just a rules follower and you don't think outside the box. And so and this is a problem. This is a big problem today. Corporations are and you're saying that it's coming, and I'm telling you it's almost here, because it's like we're on the precipice, because corporations out there are now looking to hire kids right out of college, right out of high school rather than college, because once you go through the 4 years of college, it's like your brain is just fried. They cooked you. And
You're
so you're
done. I
not
mean, you're
thinking out, you
useless.
can't think creatively anymore.
Well,
Whereas
that's what
if you're
this.
just out of high school, you're still maybe trainable. You show high school, so you've got some, I guess they still think there's some merit in like performing in school, right? But it's crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
dumb. And this is the conference I'm going to in Thailand with the Forum for World Education. Business leaders and academic experts and policymakers from around the world are realizing that a college graduate doesn't really provide much value for the companies. A college graduate can't get a job.
In fact,
You
it's
got
often a
somebody.
liability.
It's a yeah. I mean, think about it. You get somebody that just graduated from Harvard. You ask them to their first task on the job. Hey, can you go turn on the coffee maker for the office? And they're like, what? Like, yeah, like that's actually what I want you to do.
Okay,
To like turn
I'll
on the
do you
coffee
one
pot.
better. They show up for the interview and their question is, okay, so what are the perks?
Oh yeah, yeah. They don't. Yeah. So, but then they can't think. They can't think critically. They can't think outside the box. You give them a task and you say, hey, I want you to figure this out. But then they don't know how to actually figure anything out. Like in construction contract managers are notorious for saying, just figure it out. Figure it. You want to ask, like, hey, well, how do you want me to just figure it out? Well, that's a skill. Just figuring it out. People used to do that. Like, well, I don't know what to do. I'll figure it out. People can't do that anymore. They want an
No.
instruction manual, a YouTube video, and a hands-on 2 4 to 5 hour courses on how to do stuff. They just can't
Yeah.
figure out anything. That's what's happening in
So
college.
figuring it out is actually thinking,
Yes.
and they're taught not to think in school. And that's why
Yes.
the number one question in school is, teacher, will this be on the exam? Because I only want to know, I only
What's on
want to
the exam?
memorize the stuff that I need to know in order to pass the exam, in order to get the grade, because I've been taught that the value is in the grade, in the degree, in the diploma, the degree, and
Yeah.
then the money. Then the money comes.
It
Like it just
doesn't,
comes.
but it
But they're
doesn't.
not taught the grand equation. And strangely, if you know somebody, like if you know anything, you know that it's easy to figure stuff out because now you got the interweb. You just
Yeah.
look it up.
I have a book I'm going to show you.
Ooh,
I have like a library. It's this book
hold
I
on,
read
hold
called.
on. We're gonna take a quick.
Oh,
We're gonna
oh.
take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the
Okay.
book, as I
Yeah,
want
the
to see
book.
it. So give me just a minute.